The first trade was a D1 idea. Now, it wasn't a solid D1 trade, and I think that's where we need to start today's recap video, with the idea that nothing today was a A+ setup, not even a B setup really, here on EuroCAD, the one that I ended up trading 4 times. It's a C setup, so the lowest grade that I could possibly give it. Let me show you on the 15-minute first what I was looking at. You see, overnight price was divergent from Friday into the start of the week here, Sunday night into Monday. Asian session ends, we break the 50 EMA as London starts, pull back and retest the 50 EMA. As we break back down to test the low of day set on that initial break of the 50, I saw a D1 entry that signaled we could get some bullish divergence to take us higher, possibly back through the 50 EMA, and I was hoping we would head for a new high of day. The couple things that I didn't like about this trade were, one, the fact that we were under the 50 and we had already retested the 50 once here and shown resistance to it. So what happened is support here at the 50 became resistance, and that's what created the move to the downside. You see also the TDI falling, not moving in a direction that we would really say would be great for our trade. And on top of that, you have this divergence on top. And now that's going to come into play as we talk about the other ideas that I traded. So keep that divergence at, the focus of your analysis here with me. So I take the D1 trade on the 1 minute. We find our entry signal. I was in good. 13 pips of rise at most from my entry. As you can see over here, I closed, let me zoom in a little bit more. I closed 50% of the trade here as it broke to the downside as we came under my entry signal. It popped one more time above and then quickly came right back down, stopped me out. So I took a small loss on this one. All of the trades I traded today were small risk, and I think that was the key to my success. You can see here the P&L from the trade. I took this photo when I was down about 5 pips. I just wanted to show you that that was my position here, the first trade when I was long EuroCAD this morning. So that was the initial bias, and that was long bias based on the TDI position, based on the EMAs. The other EMAs, the 200 and the 800, are below price action because we had movement higher Thursday and Friday. So because of the movement Thursday and Friday, I thought we were going to get more long movement here. So I get stopped. I lose that trade. No big deal. Stay focused. See what we find next. So then I get short when we break for a new low of day here on the 15-minute. So we're under the 50 EMA. This is where we were looking to go long. It doesn't break the 50. It shows that it's resistance, right? Like I said, support became resistance. It's showing that it's resistance, so it breaks for a new low of day. Now that entry candle's off the 8 EMA, which is typically something that I won't do. The TDI here also is not super advantageous for sells. The EMAs are not advantageous for sells. So what this really is a D2 idea off the divergence off the top here. Because when you get this break of 50, that can signal the change in bias. Then the 2 hits to the 50, confirm it as solid support, and we see the push off here as it breaks for a new low. You could call it support, you can call it resistance, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. Here on the 1 minute, this is what it looked like. So it moved into profit well for me, became divergent on the bottom, and that's when I closed all of the trade. So this was a winning trade. This was the best trade that I took of the day. My entry price here, 146.54.9. So keep that in mind as we get through to the end here. You'll see why in a second. 146.54.9. I was off a little bit here in this photo just by 2 pipettes, but you get the point here. So looking right here, that break for a new low of day at 545. That was my best sell position today. So this was the second trade. So now I was able to cover that first loss, and I'm still looking at it, and I see that divergence on the bottom on the 1 minute telling me that we might get bullish movement. So I then get out of my short position and I get long here. And you can see the long idea ends up getting stopped out a couple of minutes later here on the right side. So what ends up happening is the divergence here would normally signal that we could see bullish momentum. And what happened was I was married to the bullish idea. There's no key level off of this. And even when I'm talking in the group chat, there's no key level that I was saying that we could trade it off of. There was nothing. It was blown through here on Friday. So there's no level there to be looking to go long off of. So it's foolish for me to be looking for this D2 idea. I was way too married to the long idea. I should have waited for it to come down to the 200 EMA. That's a solid level to trade it off of. You can see here, I had a few entries layered in here because it pulled back well and gave me the opportunity to get in at a better price. So no more risk. I was just sized in a little bit smaller between those 3 positions. Now, again, the thing I should have done better was wait for a solid level for me to trade off of, which would have been the next level, would have been the 200 EMA. I could have kept the long bias and still potentially gotten long here and made money into the New York session. So here I get stopped. I lose 10 pips. I'm now down on the day a little bit, about a little bit more than 0.25% with this trade. So then I went even further, and this is where I just screwed up. I got short here as it broke for another new low of day. News hit, it spiked down about 15 pips. I didn't close the trade, and then as you can see, it turns around and took off way higher, blew for a new high of day, and just stopped me out. And then now I'm down about 0.75% almost here on the day. So the big takeaway on this trade, this fourth trade, was this is just aggressive. This is just stupid. This is just me being an idiot. Like, I normally don't trade this bad, but this is pretty bad. So I definitely need to do some analysis here. I'm going to leave the desk for a little bit and go to the gym and reset my mind and then come back tonight and definitely do some analysis on this, because this was bullshit. I should not have been this aggressive. I should have kept the long bias, and I should have been looking to buy it here off the 200. That's what I should have been doing. Look at the TDI, look at the EMAs. They're clearly long biased. This definitely had the potential for a long push. So here's the photo of this trade, just so you can see I had a position in here as well. So those are the 4 trades that I've had on this thing today. Now, I'm still looking at it. I'm going to see how much it pulls down, and then maybe tomorrow we'll see how it levels out, and maybe we'll find a better trade and get something back. But really, the way that I'm thinking about this is I was just way too aggressive on it, way too married to a bad setup. The TDI is not clean here. The EMAs were not ideal for longs, not ideal for shorts, just not great. You can read the long probability, you can read the short probability, but neither idea super great. So why was I so aggressive in it? It's just because I love to trade, and I need to control my love to trade with better rules. Really not even better rules, with me following the rules better is what I meant to say. So I need to tighten in and really say to myself, is this a C setup that I want to be involved in because I know I'm going to want to trade it? Some of them are better to pull back, and this is definitely one that I should have pulled back. The short idea that I had originally here from that break, that fell 40 pips. That would have made it to my idea of the 200 EMA, and that's where I thought this was going to go, just 30 pips. I was like, listen, I got a 6 pip stop. I could hold this, and this will go 30 pips, and I'll make a great trade. And that was the best idea that I had. I should have stuck with that. After the first long, I should have taken it short down to the 200 and then just walked away. One loss, one win. That win would have covered it with the same risk, and that would have been fine. If not that, I should have gotten long biased again, just stayed with my long bias here at the significant level of the 200 EMA. So definitely a couple things I could do better in this thing. I'm going to make sure that I do some good analysis, get the chart markups sent to everybody in our VIP chat, because I want everyone that watches this, everyone that sees my markups, to hopefully learn from me. Don't copy me, learn from me. See how I still make stupid ass mistakes. See how I'm still dumb and aggressive sometimes at these trades, and it costs me money because I killed the GJ trade on Friday, and now I just gave back some of the win, and it's stupid. So kind of pissed at myself, but not really, because I know I can do better, and that's what makes me motivated to come back tomorrow and kill it.